as usual, I'm hoping you can see this okay. This is a video on using holding position to shape a neckline. I've knitted my jumper front. This is actually a child's jumper, but never mind. I haven't really, it's just a sample. I've got, I'm cast on 45 to 45. You come to that bit in your pattern that says to put, cast off the centre however many needles. My pattern says to cast off the centre 24. So which is 12 each side. So I'm going to put 12 stitches in hold on the right side. Try and turn that round so you can see it a bit better. And I'm going to put all the stitches on the left hand side into hold and set my carriage for hold. If you're doing a tuck stitch pattern where this side is actually the public side, you might want to stick a bit of tape along underneath, because the constant rubbing will fluff up the yarn. Tape, an old tension square, etc. So we've cast off, and I need to move my weights or else it'll be not knitting properly. You've cast off the centre 24, so you've got 12 there. I'm going to knit across now just on that bit of neck, and excuse my arms getting in the way. Right, I've knitted across. Now I'm going to bring another needle into hold, because this will give me an automatic wrap, as it's called, so I don't have to manually wrap the yarn. Just make sure it's knitted through, hold it down. My arms are in the way. Hold it down, bring a needle out. This is where I ignore the pattern and just do, usually, depends on how many rows you've got to work with, but usually I do one stitch into hold on every row until I get up to where it tells me the shoulder is. So hoping, let's get my arm out the way. Bring another needle to hold. Another needle to hold. You may have to move your weights a bit just to keep that knitting properly. Until you'll get to a bit in your pattern where it says stop decreasing or whatever, and knit straight. So that's the bit we're aiming for. I'm just going to try and adjust this again. Oh, for some professional equipment. Brought that one out. The reason for doing an automatic wrap is so that you don't get holes. I'm just watching my charting device at the moment. You will follow a pattern or whatever, and I'm keeping up with it vaguely well. Vaguely well. I don't think that's actually that stitch didn't knit properly, or I've pulled it off. So I'll just quickly knit it back and then bring it forward. Anyway, we should be nearing 22. I'm just going to check what I'm supposed to be going down to. Right. and I've just right, so that's where I'm supposed to be, that number of needles. So I've wrapped the last needle and then knit across, and then just keep knitting straight until I get to the end of the shoulder. I'm just knitting on the shoulder pieces. And that beeping is telling me I've got to the end. I would then cut the yarn and take the shoulder off on waste yarn. As you can see, I've taken the shoulder off on waste yarn. That's the straight bit we knitted. I've pushed all the needles back out of working position, and we're now, just let it dangle, we're now moving over to the other side. I usually start the left side on the left because it makes it easier. Wind back your row counter to, and your charting device to the number of rows where you started the neck decrease. We're now on the other side. You need to move the needles back into upper working position apart from number 12, which was where it told you to cast off the centre. Mine was 24, so we'll leave it at that. Yours will be whatever. Move those back into upper working position. Rethread the yarn, knit across, and then start putting needles into hold until you get to the straight bit again, which I think I said mine was 24 or something similar. I'm hoping you can see. This is doing an automatic wrap. That was 25 on that one. It's counted. Let me move the weights up. It's not going to knit. That's it. Now continue straight. Until I get to however many rows you were supposed to knit straight to the shoulder. Oh, mine just shouted at me, we've finished. So I take that off, that shoulder off on waste yarn. I'm hoping you can now see that we have shoulder on waste yarn, shoulder on waste yarn. And you have this straight piece that you knitted after you'd finished the shoulder shaping. Can't say shoulder, shoulder shaping. Just gently stretch it to see where it roughly come to. That's 35 it's come up to, so that's 10 stitches I've got to pick up. So you pick up 10 stitches along. I'm going to try and do a close-up. When you first start picking up stitches on the straight bit, you'll have a sort of stretched out stitch here. Don't take that one. go behind that stitch and pick up the loop just below it for that one, and then pick up, it's actually the shoulder stitch there, pick that one up and put it on where you stretched it out to. I think we said 35, I can't remember, we said 35 or 36, now put it on 36, and then pick up the loop between the stitches, not the whole stitch, until you've sort of filled that in evenly. It sometimes works out every loop, sometimes not quite. And you do exactly the same on the other side, same number of stitches. When you've picked up the straight piece of knitting, got it on your needles and done exactly the same on the other side, rethread your main yarn, and knit one row at main tension across all the needles, remembering to cancel hold, which I didn't do there. Across all the needles, and then take that off on waste yarn. I've taken this off the machine now with loads of waste yarn. There's the shoulder, or one of the shoulders, and then these are the stitches that you've picked up. These are the ones that you've done in hold, and then it goes obviously all the way across, but I hope you can see that it gives quite a neat edging. There's no steps that you normally get with casting off, and of course when you come to do your neckband, you will pick it up, and you have, hopefully you counted how many stitches you've got. I think we've got, in the end I got 36, so 72 stitches for the front neck. You know exactly how many stitches you have to pick up for your neckband. Now if you want to be really fancy, if you pick this back up to knit your neckband, and it says to hang the edge stitches, if you pick it up with the public side facing you, and or the right side should I say, the knit side, and do a row at main tension and then transfer to your ribber, when you take it off you'll find that you've got a row of purl stitches on the right side, and it looks as though you've back stitched each stitch down. It's sort of a mock one, but yeah, I hope you can see that that is quite neat for a neckline. And as I say, you don't have to calculate or stretch it out on the machine to know how many stitches to pick up.